Hey guys, I'm ready to read the next chapter of Runaway Twin. This one is chapter 17. She's just met up with her sister, so Sunny and Star have been reunited, but it's not going the way that she was hoping it would go. Chapter 17. I looked down, twisting my hands in my lap. This reunion was nothing like the one I had envisioned. Maybe I ought to leave, I said. No, said Mrs. Anderson. Please don't go yet. We want to know all about you and what's happened over the years. It doesn't sound as if you've had much stability, Mr. Anderson said. Not the life you would have had if they would have let us take you both. I wonder why Cora didn't call us if she couldn't keep you herself. She knew we wanted you. She probably still wanted Sunny to stay with her family, Mrs. Anderson said. And she hadn't heard from us. Maybe we were wrong not to keep in touch. Well, that's water over the bridge, Mr. Anderson said. The important thing now is to find out what red tape we need to cut in order for Sunny to stay here for a while. What? Star exploded. You're inviting her to live with us? We don't even know her. Well, I can't think of a better way to get acquainted, Mr. Anderson said. Sunny, could you stay with us for the summer? And then come fall, we can decide if you want to stay permanently? I've already decided, Star said. No one asked what her decision was. We knew. Mrs. Anderson said, we should start by calling the foster mother. We must do that anyway to let her know that Sunny is safe. For the first time, calling Rita sounded like a good idea to me. I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to get her opinion about what I should do. I'll call her, I said. Well, I'm going upstairs, Star announced, and she stomped out of the room. Her mother followed her. I dialed Rita's number. When she answered, I said, Hi, Rita. It's Sunny. Sunny? Are you all right? I'm fine. I'm sorry I worried you, but worried me? Do you have any idea how scared I've been? I heard Rita pause, and I could tell she was trying not to get herself all caught up. Where are you? I'm in Enumclaw, Washington. Washington? I thought you were in Florida. I got a call from someone telling me you were okay, and I had the call traced to Florida. What are you doing in Washington? I found my twin sister. There was stunned silence. Then Rita said, You never told me you have a sister? We were separated when I was 3, and I didn't know where she was until today. Well, have you seen her? Yes, I'm at her house right now. Well, how's it going? Leave it to Rita to cut right to the important part. It was as if she could tell from my voice that I was unhappy. Not exactly like I thought. Star got adopted right after we split up, and her parents want me to stay here with them for the summer. I see. Is that what you want to do? I don't know. When I left, I thought I wanted to be with Star more than anything in the world, but now that I'm here, I'm not sure. We haven't had much time together yet. She doesn't remember me. Oh, Sunny, I'm so sorry. Yeah, me too. Well, how did you get there? Where did you get enough money for a trip? I told Rita about the bag of money that I'd found in my effort to locate the owner. Let me speak to one of Star's parents, she said, and I held the receiver toward Mr. Anderson. She wants to talk to you, I said. The two adults spoke for a few minutes, and I heard Mr. Anderson give Rita his phone number. Then he gave the phone back to me. I told him you could stay for a week, Rita said. That's if you want to stay that long. Do you? Did I? I wasn't sure at all. But I'd gone through so much to get here, it seemed like I should stay the week, no matter how unwelcoming Star was. Once she got used to me, she'd probably warm up. Yes, I said. Well, I'll get you a plane ticket to come home next Thursday. Even if it turns out that you want to return and stay there longer, you'll need to come back here first and go through the channels with the foster care system. Okay, I said. Is this really what you want to do? Rita asked. You don't sound sure. Well, if I leave now, I'll always think I should have stayed and tried to make things work. Well, call me if you want to come home sooner. Call anytime, day or night. It's okay to call collect and I'll accept the charges. Thanks. You want to know how worried I've been? Rita asked. I ate a whole package of Oreo cookies. I bought them to have on hand in case you came home, and it was typical stress eating, and they were gone before I even realized I'd opened the package. I'm flattered, I said. I've never seen a cookie enter Rita's mouth, and she's never bought cookies for me before. I'm trying to make you feel guilty, not flattered. Rita, there's one more thing, I said. I have a dog now. A dog? He's staying with a friend of mine, and I need to make arrangements to pick him up. Well, where did you get a dog? It's a complicated story. I found Snickers in a restaurant parking lot, and he was homeless, the same as me, so... You are not homeless, Rita interrupted. You have a home here with me. You always have a home here. I adopted Snickers, I said, but the bus driver wouldn't let me take him on the bus, and then we had to walk, and then we got caught in a tornado, and... Rita interrupted again. A tornado? You were out in that awful tornado? I saw pictures of it on the news. Yes, I wasn't hurt, but Snickers got hit in the head, and he was unconscious, and we stayed overnight in a Red Cross shelter, and then I met Charlie, who's a cab driver, and he drove me more than 4 hours, and then I asked him to keep Snickers until I could come for him, so I need to get Snickers as soon as I can. Well, you are a girl of many surprises, Rita said. Let me speak to Mr. Anderson again, please. Maybe he can get Snickers and take him to a noon claw, and then I'll make arrangements for Snickers to fly home on your flight. I gave the phone to Mr. Anderson, and I listened. Oh, no, the dog can't stay here. Star's afraid of dogs. Oh, Snickers is as gentle as a kitten, I said. He wouldn't hurt anyone. I'll take care of him. He won't be any trouble. If I go get a dog, Mr. Anderson told me, we'll board him at a kennel until you leave. Where's the dog? I got out Charlie's address, and I told him where Charlie lived. And it turned out he was as close to Rita as he was the Andersons. So in the end, Rita said she would get Snickers herself. It'll give me something to do to wait on you. After we finished talking to Rita, I called Charlie. Hey, he said, glad to hear from you. Did you find your sister? Yes, I'm at her house now. I told him the plan, and I asked if it was okay for Snickers to stay a few more days until Rita could pick him up. Well, he can stay as long as he wants, Charlie said. I was kind of hoping you wouldn't come back for him and I could keep him. No chance, I said. Thanks, Charlie. When I had completed my call, Mr. Anderson said, You're probably tired. Maybe you'd like to rest a bit before dinner. As soon as he said it, I realized I was exhausted. Besides riding my bike for hours, this has been an emotional few days, especially this afternoon, and my thoughts were still whirling like the tail of a tornado, and I had longed to lie down. Mrs. Anderson came in. We're going to give Sonny the den for now, she said. Well, what about Star's room? It has twin beds. Mr. Anderson said, no pun intended. I think Sonny needs some privacy, Mrs. Anderson said. What she probably meant was Star will throw a fit if we make her share a room, even if it is with her twin sister. The den will be great, I said. Do you have any luggage? Mr. Anderson asked. Just my backpack, and my bike's out front. Well, we'll put your bike in the garage where it's safe. And I followed him to the garage, and he pushed a button that made one of the garage doors open. My bike was wheeled inside by a brand new Prius. You're going to need more clothes, Mrs. Anderson said as she led me to the den. We can go shopping tomorrow. Star loves to shop. Do you? Yes, I said, although the only time anyone had ever taken me shopping was when Rita bought me new clothes when I first went to live with her. We had a great time that day. She let me try on anything I wanted, and I stepped out of the dressing room to show her how I looked. It wasn't only the new clothes that made it a happy memory. It was the feeling that someone cared enough to let me look good. I realized Rita had given me more than jeans and shirts that day. She had given me love. Her words came back to me. You'll always have a home here. I realized how foolish I'd been to assume that once I'd found Star, I'd instantly have a permanent home. I had a simplistic dream for a complicated situation. Mrs. Anderson opened a hide-a-bed that was already made up with sheets and a blanket. You can sleep here. There's a bathroom across the hall. Thanks, I said. I'm glad you're here, Sonny. Star will be glad too when she gets used to the idea. She really is a wonderful girl. I should have called first instead of just showing up. Oh, it doesn't matter. You rest now. We'll talk later. I went to the bathroom and I took a long shower and shampooed my hair. I know it will take 28 shampoos before my hair returns to the natural color. I laid on top of the bed trying to put myself in Star's place. How would I feel if a stranger appeared with no warning and claimed to be my twin sister? I'd probably feel apprehensive too. If I had no memory of my sister, I didn't think I'd be as negative as Star. I'd be curious. Whether I liked the idea or not, I would want to know who my sister was and what her life had been like since we were separated. Dinner that night was strained. Mr. and Mrs. Anderson tried to ignite a conversation, but it felt weird. Star gave me one-syllable answers to questions and appeared not even to listen when I talked. Star is a poet, Mr. Anderson told me. She's been writing poetry for years. Do you write poetry, Sonny? No, I said. I love to read it, though. I used to read only novels, but Rita likes poetry, and she got me started on that. I turned to Star. I'd like to read some of your poems. When Star didn't respond, Mr. Anderson said, You'll be impressed. Star has a lot of talent. I took a bite of my baked potato. Tell us about Rita, Mrs. Anderson said. She's single, I said. She works at home most of the time editing a business journal, and one day a week she teaches yoga classes. Well, how long have you been with her? 5 months. It seemed longer than that. In some ways, I felt like I'd known Rita for many years. So you don't have a long-term relationship with her? Mr. Anderson asked. She probably wouldn't fight to keep you. I put my fork down and I looked at him, surprised. Was he saying they wanted me to live with him permanently? Star looked horrified, and I knew she was wondering the same thing. Rita lets me make my own decisions, I said. And that's the end of chapter 17. I'll read chapter 18 later, and you'll be able to see what happens with Sunny and Star.